and welcome back to the channel, Toby's 3D Skills with Toby. That's me. Today's video will focus on this power station from OKEPS. OKEPS. I hope I pronounced it correct. This power station is pretty cool. This power station from OKEPS has a couple features, as I mentioned, which are really cool and I feel like outstanding. There's a touchscreen and it does have a Bluetooth app. Besides, of course, it does have a handle, wireless charging on top, and it does claim that up to 1,500 watts can come out of this battery. And that's something which I want to test, of course, later. Let's take a closer look and see what features this unit actually has. With 1280 watt hours in total and up to 1,500 watt on this AC outlet here. It comes with 3 AC household outlets. It comes with, of course, up here the power on off button, which I can also use, and then there's a beep. And then it does kind of a little boot, so it's not there right at the beginning. It needs a couple seconds, probably around 10. And then you can see there's an interface. Then we have the label in the middle, OKEPS. Then we do have 2 Type-C 100 watt fast charge output. We'll get that later. We do have 4 in total Type-A USB. And then, also we do have on top 2 of those wireless charging ports. 1, 2. It does come with a handle, which is having this rubber thing underneath, so it's pretty comfortable carrying. And it also tucks in here, so it's not wobbling around. That's pretty well made, actually. So that's nice quality here, you can see. We also have a cigarette lighter outlet here. This one. We do have 2 DC outlets down here. And you can see it does state a couple things, like the 5 volt, 9 volt, 12 volt, 15 volts, 20 volts, 24 volts DC outlet. We also have up here inputs, and we have those typical Andersons, the small Anderson connectors, I think they're also called here. They have an input range between 12 volt and 30 volts, it states. And then in the middle we do have this display, and it is, as I mentioned, touchscreen. So I tap on it, and then I say, alright, let's start, and then the OC outlets are activated. So I went already ahead, turned it on, but I want to show you how it does turn on. So look at it. Press the button, and then you have to wait up to 10 seconds, I believe, because it's kind of booting, I guess. But then it's ready, so there's a little microcontroller in there somehow. And then that's the display and what it should show. But this unit does come with a manual, so that's quite important, and I'll refer to this a few times probably. It does come with a charger, and this one is the cigarette charger, which plugs in right here, so you can connect it in the car and then charge it. So it plugs in right here, and then it can be plugged in into your car or another cigarette outlet, and it should be able to charge, the manual says car charging output. So my assumption is those cigarette adapters are usually up to 10 amps, so it could charge up to probably 120 amps-ish, depending when you plug it into your car. I didn't see anything in the manual, unfortunately. Nevertheless, it also comes with this charger, and this charger connects here to the side, which I will show you in a bit when I give you a walk around of this one. This is all you can see, display. It has charging opportunity, and it does come also with this big charger, which, by the way, also comes with a normal household plug, so you can plug it into wherever you are, so you can charge this. And this unit can charge up to 360 watts, it claims. So in theory, this should charge the battery full in around 4 hours. By the way, this is the model S1500W, if you're wondering what I'm looking at. And in general, just to give you a little comment about the housing and everything, it feels solid. It's, of course, there's a lot of other things as well, plastic. It does have this rubber material down here, so you can grab it, hold it, you can push it down, and then nothing's loose, nothing's making sounds. It feels like also everything is well designed. Also buttons, everything is pretty flush. It also has some weight to it. According to the manual, it weighs around 14 kilogram. You can use the full 1280 watt hours of this battery until it's completely depleted and empty, and reuses and recharge. Of course, as always, is it the best to do that? Hey, maybe not. Oh, what you just saw? It turns off when nothing is in use, which is also good to save power because the display also needs some power, obviously. I think what we now want to do, I want to go through all those outlets which they are claiming to have, and then afterwards I want to do all the testing, which means it will include a capacity test, it will include the solar charging, it will include, of course, also testing those outlets if those push out the current and the power it claims. And we'll recharge it in the middle as well, because we need to most likely do that at one point. And then we have a light which I can turn on like this. I have, which is pretty cool. So let me turn this a little bit in this direction so you can see it again. Let me see. I have this one. Yeah, I can regulate basically the brightness with this, with just my fingertip. I do have also this SOS signal. When I tap OK, it starts the SOS flashing. I can also say now I like disco light, so I'll say blink and then open. What's interesting about this, I have to mention, I don't know why they say open. It should say OK or close, or without buttons, just when I activate it, just do it. It doesn't, so I'll click open again, but I want to turn it off, so I click close. See, that close doesn't make sense. But anyway, continuing on this side, or back, we do have a little fan here, or fan outlet, which pushes air out as soon as the inverter is on or needs air. And there's a little sign also showing up. I'll show you later. On the back, we do have a label, which I think is quite good to see. And then it displays everything what it has. That's good. By the way, I was only talking about outputs so far. We'll talk about the inputs in a second as well. And also, you can see those rubber orangey thingies here, which cover most likely all those bolts which are in there, which is fine. Let's turn on the other side. So here's a fan inlet. Then we have the power adapter, which allows us to use our power supply, use this screw on, and it has 4 connectors here and then a little groove. So it needs to, align correctly, and then you can hand tighten it and it's fixed on it. So I tested it already a bunch of times. So I can close this, so it's nice and almost sealed, kind of. Feels good. I wouldn't say it's waterproof or watertight at all. Don't do anything with that. Not IP65 rated at all. And here again, we do have all those outputs. The outputs do not work unless you activate them. And it means you click, for example, on AC, and then this pop-up comes, and then you have to click again, yes, okay. Then there's a blinking light, and it means, okay, it's activated. The inverter kicks in. I just heard a fan kicking in, turn it on, turn it off, that's good. When I want to use those outputs here, here, or here, those are all considered DC outlets. So I click on DC, and then I can individually trigger those and say, yes, I want to have the USB PD, which is this section down here, and click open. Sorry, my angle is a little more difficult to click, so I might sometimes miss it. But it works pretty well with the touch usually, when you hit it in the middle. So now you see it's on. We can do the same with the other ones, and I'll just activate them all at the same time. Oh, come on, and open. And then we have all the lights on, and everything is activated and could work. We could now use all the outlets, including the wireless, because it's also activated with DC here under wireless. All right, when I click close, it turns everything off. All. AC is the same when I say close, instead of off, it turns it off, obviously. So you understand. That would be cool to see that maybe updating at one point. And there is an app available for this unit, which is pretty cool. So let me do 2 things. First of all, we need to activate the app, which is here, a button. Then we open the app Tuya Smart, which is this one. And I did already go ahead, allowed Bluetooth, and I found this device, so I clicked on it, and I can connect to it, which is really nice. And via app, all the features are available, which you can also see here on this display right now. So for example, the AC, look at this light up here, or even up here in the display. Click on it and it activates it. Another click and it stops it. Same for USB, wireless, car, DC. That's what it calls in here. Then I can activate a light as well on the side. I can say I want to have a blinking light, so you see it, or flashing, so you see it here as well. I can stop it again because it's quite annoying. And then I can just close this again, and that is pretty neat. One more thing, or two more things about this unit, what I experienced so far. This display does have touch, as I mentioned. This display does, when you use it, it does dim at one point, but it will never go off. What's also very important to understand, up there in the corner, you can see there is date and time, right? Unfortunately, the date and time is up there, but as soon as you turn it on or off, it will reset itself, which is quite annoying. So I did set it up the first two times and thought, okay, maybe it was just a glitch, something wrong. But as soon as you turn off everything else here with this power button, which is funny enough that it moves around and you can, funny. Anyway, that's not a big deal, but funny to see. So you could configure it, because there's a menu, time and date. So I click time and date, and then I'll pick time and date. Let me see here. Yeah. Sorry, you cannot see everything immediately, so I'll go back here. And then I can go back again up here. And then I see, oh cool, it did update the time. So you see it here in the video as well, so that's quite neat. All right, that's something I cannot do here in the app actually. Let me show you, I'll turn it off, but let me turn it back on. And now you can see we have 1970 again. Guys, that would be amazing to have an internal time, which makes sense. Or the capability that this display can stay always on, but does have a standby and turns off after X amount of minutes, because I did not find anything in here, unfortunately. So here I don't have that option at all. So the only thing I can do is the brightness, the backlight brightness setting. It says it's at 50%, or I have the brightness reduction time after 30 seconds. So that's all I can do. No, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to do it. Oh God, don't confirm. Dare you to confirm this. Oh, it did just confirm it, even though I didn't confirm it. Oh, that's a big bummer. God. Language, we're not changing that at all. Then we have the buttons. There's nothing to change. Then we do have the version, which I would assume then we can have some firmware updates. But I learned, no, it's not. Then we have a fault, if in case there's a fault case or something reported here wrong. I have no idea what's happening. And then we have a reset button, which I do not want to reset at the moment. I didn't set up anything here. Anyways, so that's all. And I feel like we should continue now with the capacity test. I just charge it up to full, and we'll see if we can pull 1280 watt hours. We try to pull the entire load and push it into another battery to see if we can maybe achieve a 0.2 C to have an industry standard pulling capacity. So it's usually around, instead of 20 amp hours, it might be around 25, I assume, but we'll see. We'll give it a test and see how much capacity we can pull. So now we'll turn on the AC, and now we do see inverters kicking in, and now we can see. All right, and let's go. We're pushing out 255 watts. Seems to be 4 amp. Okay. Let's see how it performs. I'll get back to you as soon as we're done with this test and see what the capacity looks like. Okay, let me give you a brief update. So I want to zoom in a little bit more so you can see back there. So you can see there's this little AC output, it claims, which says it is at 484. That's the output it needs. And then we have the 277, which is the actual output. When you take the 486 watts and the 277, so 277 divided by 486, we have a power efficiency of, efficiency of the inverter of 56 or 57%, which is not really good, if you ask me. But Well, it looks like we got 1 kilowatt-hour out. We still have 5% remaining, but the inverter wasn't able to do more. Alright, let's get it charged again a little bit. It did update 356 watts in the middle here. So that's what it's claiming, AC input. Click on it, now we have the information showing up here as well. Perfect. It always takes a little time that it shows it, but now it says will charge 5,000 hours. That's changing, interesting enough. I'll let it charge a little bit back up and then we'll continue our testing. I just want to give you a side-by-side comparison for the OKEPS 1280 watt-hour S1500W unit on the right side, and on the left side the Licitti battery box. Just to give you a little comparison in terms of what you can get and what the OKEPS unit, the S1500W, is for. And of course you can see the Licitti battery box is bigger. That's due to form factor, due to you can put in different batteries, whatever you want to, from HAM batteries to lithium iron phosphate batteries. But when you compare it, I mean, of course, the Licitti battery box only has 1,000 watt compared to the 1500 on the right side. But who's this OKEPS unit here on the right side for? For everyone who does just want to have an all-in-one unit, doesn't want to deal with anything like what battery chemistry do I need, what are the outputs, what inverter, how do I connect it and wire it. And that's basically all in one unit. You just need to take this portable power station, order it, and then take it out to wherever you want to use it. Versus the Licitti battery box is definitely for the more DIY people. I would say if you have a spare battery and you thought, okay, I want to just use it, maybe I have some solar I want to hook up, maybe I want to do even more, because it does come with more connections with those Anderson connectors here. So it does have way more connections, what you can do with it. There's a big difference. Also, you can see the size is different. So on the right side, obviously one handle, you just grab it with one hand, you walk away. The Licitti battery box, you need to carry with 2 hands because it's definitely more heavy. So especially with the battery in it. Okay, so since we just did a solar panel input and it's pretty cloudy, I can tell you we only get about 20 watts in compared to same setup with the same solar panel with the device which has a MPPT charger connected. We got about 28 to 29 watts in, but you cannot really compare it. So I'll want to do at least a setup where we can push as much power in as possible. And so we'll replicate the sun kind of, because I only have a 100 watt solar panel. Anyway, so I'll try it here. I'll plug it in and then we'll see. I'll do the full, what is it? I believe it's 24. Yeah, 24 volts. And then we check it here on the display. So let's see what we can get in. So remember, the maximum input will be 300 watts. So between 12 volt and 30 volts, 300 watts is the maximum we can push in, which is equals to data rate 10.3 amps. All right, right now we are at 7.6. So we have 200 watts divided by 27.5 is around 7.5 amps going in. That's good. That's the max I can push in. So we should be able to get up to 300 watts. Okay, the 200 watt was the maximum I was able to push with my devices. We are still 100 watt short. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to push in. My solar panels are not enough to push this current and get it up to 300 watts. So 200 watt is decent already, and we have to leave this test open. With the 100 watt solar panel I have, usually I get around 80-82 watts max in best condition. And with this one, in that condition, I was driving around and whatnot and testing, I only got 60 watts displaying here on this display, which in the other battery or with the MPPT charger, which I'm using in a car, I usually get the full 80, between 70 and 80 at least, depending on the condition obviously as well. So I'm not sure. Maybe they're using a PWM solar charge controller. I'm not 1% certain about that because it wasn't mentioned, but keep that in mind. Okay, so we do have, this one is not connected yet, we do have a space heater which should pull a lot of wattage, pretty powerful, and we do have here at the same time we'll do a test if we have a pure sine wave. So that means first we'll do the pure sine wave test if it has that at all. So it means we'll turn off the AC power and then we'll switch here. There we are, so it looks pretty good so far. We'll keep letting this run and we'll go all in. So there we are. Let me also turn on the app. And let me turn on the app functionality. Now it sees it, perfect, and here we have it. Nice. So we will just start a space heater, I would say. Let's go all in on high. I have no idea how much it will pull, but maybe we'll figure that out and get there. Nice. It's, wow, 1400. That's pretty good. We're almost getting the 1500. Oh, we had 1600, so which is higher than 1500 according to the app. According to what we're pulling out here, 1400, and the sine wave looks pretty good so far. No change here at all. They are 1400, almost 1500. That's amazing. I like it. It should be climbing up soon. There we are, 467, so that's good. We'll add the low setting on our heat gun. So now we have to wait at least 5 seconds. I think the refresh rate here is a little off. Okay, 1000. Does it stay constant? Yeah, I think it's every 5 or 10 seconds it does refresh. All right, we'll go higher. And here we have 1500 according. The sine wave seems to be still good. That's great. So we're a little bit above our 1500. We are a little bit above our 1500, 1600. Wow, that is really impressive. That is really good. Nice. I like that. That is amazing, and the sine wave stays the same. We are higher than it's rated. Nice. Let me go back here in the battery. Let's see, it's still responsive. DC, we can still turn on all the DCs. We can also close them or turn them off. So I don't want to heat it up too much, but I feel like this is really doing a great job right now. So let's turn it off. One whoop, and it says immediately 0 AC output. And by the way, what I mentioned earlier, here in the display, up in the corner you see the little fan is running, because the fan is running. So nice. Next test will be the USB-C connections. So it means those little two guys. So I'll turn those on. USB. There you go. With two notebooks. One is a MacBook, the other one is a Lenovo. Both chargeable with those power delivery ports here on the side. USB-C, so it means I have a USB-C cable down here for the Lenovo. I have one up here for the MacBook. And let's just plug it in and see what it tells us as output. I'll put in here first the Lenovo, so the Lenovo should now show up here on DC output. And it does say it's at 55 watts. The MacBook, we'll wait until it zeroes out, there we go. It really takes a couple seconds, and I think every 5 or 10 seconds it updates. So we'll plug in the same port. Just want to double check here. 2 Type-C output, 200 watts max. All right, the MacBook is stopping at 32, it looks like. Let's unplug it. 105, okay. Maybe there's some magic, who knows. I have one of those. So it is made for USB, but also USB-C. So I want to test it and see how the device itself starts. So right now it shows up here in the display 54 down here on this little display. Therefore I have to zoom in more. Hope you can read it. It says 58, or sorry, 55. So it's between 54, 55, pretty accurate. I feel like that's not too bad at all. The USB-C, they have just quick charge 3.0, so it's way less, but it will charge your phone quicker, I guess. So that means I'll plug in my phone because I can need a charge anyways. But we will use this one, turn it on, this one, and then I'll use on the other side of USB-C, fine enough. And now I'm charging, and it does say it's charging full in 1 hour. So when we look at the DC output, we're charging, it looks like with 5 watts up there in the display. So that's good. When you go down, look at this little friend, it's also at 5, so seems to be pretty accurate. Let me plug it in another one just to see if all of them are the same. 5.4. To give you also a better impression in general, so the app is running, right? Turning off the AC output. It always does when you click something, it does do a sound for you. So it means here I'm turning on the light, close, beep, turn on the app, turn off, beep, turn on the AC, beep. So that's something which I wasn't able to turn off. I didn't find it yet. Keep that in mind. I think it's not too bothering me. It would be great if you can turn it off. Maybe that's something you can deliver also at one point with the firmware update. So that would be awesome. Since we do have an active connection with the phone, Bluetooth, you know, updating this unit would be very, very cool, I think. Oh, one thing we didn't check, but let me show you if it works or not, is the wireless charging. Whoop. That's up there. Yeah, I have to take off my phone case. Oh, of course, I have to do one thing. Straightforward. It's up here or down here. DC, I have the wireless, turn on the wireless, and then I can look up there. And let's see, I might have to place it in there again. Up there it was already. And there it is. Just realized it. And now it's charging. It says charging down here. Sorry. So, pretty cool. Well, here we are at the end of the test of this unit of the S1500W. The good stuff is for sure, it does have Bluetooth, it does have a touchscreen, which I really like because it looks really damn modern and digital, right? A few things, so that's pretty cool. It does have a ton of connections, which are, for this size battery, I feel like really nice. It does have 3 AC outlets, and you can pull up to 1500 watts, even though 1600. So that was very impressive, very good for this unit. It does have a nice housing. I like it actually. I do like the wireless charging at top. It works. I do like the light on the side. I do like that it has the fans also, that it cools it down because that's necessary. I do like those standard connectors up here for charging. So all the ports are really good, and there's enough, I feel like, which are really, really nice to have. So those are the things which I think it's amazing about this unit. What might need some improvement, the touchscreen is great. Maybe some adjustments, as I mentioned, when you click on it. Of course, AC is just one, so there's just an open and close, but you know, instead of open and close, it's just a turn on, turn off thing. For this one is okay. For DC, you have multiple ones, and then you have to open. It's you know, when you would have just those toggle switches, that would be totally enough. And then just confirm. Also that when you go into settings and then you do something, where was that, in buttons? No, not in buttons. In those parameter settings, when you go in there, change something, and then you click here on the arrow, and without confirming, it just saves it. That's not good. So a couple of things could be, you know, some user interface interaction improvements. That would be amazing to see, as well as that it can receive firmware updates to, you know, over the air push it on there, because it does have an app, which is simple, but it works great because it's, you know, you have the app. One thing to improve as well, not only dimming, also turning off the display in a standby function or something would be nice. Same with the light. Of course, the light indicates it's up and running, okay, but I get it. But maybe something like that turning off would be great. The dimming is great. What was weird to me, it claims it has 1280 watt hours. I was only able to pull around 1000 watt hours. So maybe, yeah, let me know in the comments, maybe you have the same unit and maybe you can also do a test like that. Maybe it's just my unit, maybe it was my test equipment. That's also always possible. But the test which I did with charging another battery, definitely with only 56-57% of efficiency, we're losing a lot of power in between. So I think this inverter is not the very best, but it does work and does the job. So, you know, keep that in mind when you buy it. But it's all in one unit, so it has everything you need, except for the adapter cable. That would be great if they include this adapter cable, because it does have all the connections you need, I feel like, or even just a smaller version of this adapter cable. But having something like this, or the MC4 connectors with maybe, I'm not sure if they have solar panels, they might come out with some other solar panels, so that would be great to see, because then you have just a plug-in and you don't have to buy extra on top anything. The charger, by the way, the normal charger outlet, it does get freakingly hot, I realized. It does get hot to a point, so this one I'm talking about does get super hot. You don't want to touch it too much. A small kid could probably burn finger on it already. I didn't check the temperature, but it's very hot. And I do like the cigarette lighter charger, which goes in here as well to charge it. Awesome. You can combine even both. And I didn't show you this, but charging at the same time with USB-C and also here on the side, the wall, you can even still use the inverter on all the other power outlets. So that's amazing and a big, big plus. So yeah, I would say that's all for this video. Let me know what you think about it, and if you would purchase this, or what are your major selling points you want to see. I do like this unit in general. I will test another time, I think, if I can pull the 1280, because I think that's something which is a little bit missing, you know. But anyways, yeah, I hope you like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers!